July 1st, 2026. That is the date that changes student loans forever. And I'm not being dramatic. This week, the Department of Education dropped their final rule, and I've been going through it so you don't have to. So if you have federal student loans, if you're in grad school, if you're thinking about grad school, or you are a parent borrowing for your kids, you need to watch this video before that date hits. Here's what's being eliminated. Here's what's replacing it. And here's exactly what you need to do starting today. If you are new here, I break down money and teach you how to have more joy in plain English. So hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the follow-ups. So I'm giving you very quick context because you need to know why this is happening, but I discuss it in these videos as well. Last July 4th, President Trump signed what he called the One Big Beautiful Bill. It overhauled a lot of things, but buried inside it was a complete restructuring of the federal student loan system. And critics say that it pushes millions of borrowers towards private loans with fewer protections and higher rates. And here's what I know. Whether you love or hate the politics, the rules are changing and you need to know them. So let's start with what's been taken off the table. This is where most people will feel the impact first. Number one is Grad Plus loans are gone for new borrowers. If you are a graduate student who hasn't started borrowing yet, you will no longer have access to Grad Plus loans after July 1st. Now, for me, Grad Plus loans helped me to pay for all the other things that were required for me to matriculate through medical school, for me to survive medical school, and for me to thrive in medical school. But that's not an option for you. So these were the loans that let you borrow up to the full cost of attendance, tuition, living expenses, all of that. That option disappears. Number two, the SAVE plan is dead, and a lot of borrowers were on SAVE. It had some of the lowest monthly payments of any income-driven repayment option out there. If you were enrolled in it, you've likely been shifted into general forbearance. And that's not a permanent fix because you likely need to move into a new plan, which I talk about in these videos here. Number three, pay as you earn, income contingent repayment plan, and the old IDR structures are being phased out. So that alphabet soup of repayment plans is being cleared out. Simplified, which sounds good in theory, but it also means that you have less choice. And some borrowers will lose plans that actually worked quite well for their situation. The next part is the part that matters if you're going into graduate or professional schools, or if you are a parent borrowing for your kids' undergrad. For grad students starting July 1st, the annual cap is $20,500 a year with a lifetime cap of $100,000. That's it. If your program costs more than that, and a lot of them do, you will need to look elsewhere for that gap. For professional programs like law, medicine, dentistry, vet school, you have up to $50,000 a year and a $200,000 lifetime cap. Now that sounds like a lot, but if you've looked at the medical school tuition lately, you know that can run short fast. And if you look at the average amount that a medical student is graduating with, it is a lot more than that. So for Parent Plus loans, the new cap is $20,000 per student per year with a total limit of $65,000 per student. Previously, there was effectively no cap and you could borrow the full cost of attendance. That's over. So here's the real world translation. Some of you are going to hit those caps and need private loans to cover the rest. Private loans don't come with the same protections. No income-driven repayment, no forgiveness pathway, and that's the trade-off that you need to understand going in. There is an exception. If you're already enrolled and have already borrowed federal loans from your current program, you may be grandfathered in under the old limits for up to 3 more years. So if you're a second year medical student who started borrowing last year, you're likely protected for now, but check with your financial aid office. Do not assume. All right. So if all those plans are going away, then what replaces them? Meet the Repayment Assistance Plan, or RAP. This launches July 1st and it becomes the primary income-driven repayment option for new borrowers. So here's what we know. It caps your monthly payment at a percentage of your income, similar to the old IDR plans. It also waives unpaid interest for on-time payments if your payment does not fully cover the interest. That's actually meaningful. It protects your balance from ballooning just because your income is low. So the goal is simplicity. One standard plan, one income-driven plan, instead of 6 or 7 options, borrowers who struggle to navigate for years. But honestly, the devil is in the details. And so if you're wondering, okay, if RAP may not be the best option, then what other options exist for me? You can watch this video right here where I compare the repayment assistant plan with the income-based repayment option. And you want to subscribe because more of these videos are coming to explain more about student loans as the landscape continues to change. Now, you might be thinking, well, what about forgiveness, Brittany? Public service loan forgiveness is still intact. Teachers, nurses, government employees, qualifying nonprofits, that program still exists. It's still tax-free, and that didn't change. But what did change is any forgiveness outside of PSLF is now treated as taxable income at the federal level. So if you're on a 20-year repayment plan expecting forgiveness at the end, you need to plan for that tax bill. All right, so you stayed with me through the hard stuff. Here is the payoff. These are 5 things that I want you to do now before July 1st hits. And you may be feeling this burden right now because you may have gotten a letter in the mail that says you need to choose a plan or we will choose one for you. So if you don't know which income-based repayment plan to choose from, then I have a special offer for you, my friend. I've thought a lot about student loans lately. Although I have paid off my student loans $138,000 in under 2 years and 9 months as a financial coach for women in healthcare, I know how heavy that student loan burden can feel. And I know how confusing it could feel to not know which plan to choose. So that is why I have created the student loan clarity system that helps you to not only think about all of the various details between IBR and RAP, and not only what you should choose today, but how that decision impacts the lifespan of your career and also your student loan payments. So if you want access to the student loan clarity system that I've created, it gives you literally in 60 minutes your student loan strategy. Then I want you to click the link below and purchase it today. I've made it affordable for everyone because I want you to be clear on your student loan strategy so that you can take action and take control over your finances. So click the link below to get the student loan clarity system right now. And while you do that, I also want you to log into studentaid.gov today and find out exactly which repayment plan you're on right now. So if you're on Save and you need to get out of Save because Save is being phased out and you received a letter, you need to know now, not in August. Click the link in the description to get the student loan clarity system to help you to decide what plan to move into. And number 2, if you are a current grad student who hasn't borrowed yet, talk to your financial aid office before July 1st about your options. Okay. You may want to lock in the old rules while you can still take advantage of them, especially if they make sense for your situation. And number 3, if you're starting a new program after July 1st, run the numbers before you commit. Know your federal borrowing ceiling. Know what private loans would cost to fill that gap. And don't assume that the math works out. Actually do the math. And number 4, if you are in default or delinquent, act now. Collection enforcement is coming and the new rules gave you a second chance at loan rehabilitation. So I want you to use it. This resource is myeddebt.ed.gov. So check it out and figure out how you can start making those payments. And lastly, if you're expecting forgiveness under a long-term IDR plan, that forgiveness is 20 or 25 years under income-based repayment. So you want to lock in income-based repayment because otherwise you're going to be moved into RAP, the repayment assistant plan, and that is a 30-year forgiveness timeline. So start putting some money aside for that tax bill, especially if you're coming up now, and start making those payments so you can get that forgiveness credit. Look, the student loan system has been a mess for a long time and a little bit more messier recently. Okay. So whether these changes make it better or worse is genuinely up for debate. But what is not up for debate is the deadline. It's real. And these changes are finalized. And the borrowers who act early are going to be in a far better position than those who wait for the dust to settle. So you've got until July 1st. That's actually enough time if you start now. And if you want to get clear on your next move, but you don't want to go through all of the clarity system, you want my eyes and ears on your student loan strategy, then you can click the other link below to set up a clarity call with me to make sure that we're a good fit for your student loan situation. And if you're still wondering which plan will work for you, IBR or RAP or something entirely different, then watch this video here where I go through the numbers. All right, people, until next time, stay wealthy, stay healthy, take care. Bye-bye.